I'm Andy. Thanks very much for watching this video. About 6 months ago, back in April, Alison and I made a short video about the exciting day when we bought our Carthago C line Chic 5. It's a really good day, and we were very excited about buying this much bigger motorhome. Previously, we'd had an Auto Sleeper Nuevo, which we'd been away for about 5 months, and another 3-month trip before that. And it was a good van, but it wasn't big enough. It didn't really have enough sort of capacity of water, gas and stuff like that. And also, with such heavy use, it was really showing signs of deterioration. So we thought buying a Cathargo would be the right thing to do. Now that we've had it 6 months, it's the end of November, it's winter, dark evenings, not much else to do, so I thought I'd do a little review of this Carthago. We've done 3 good trips in it. Been to Lake District at the beginning of summer. We had a really good trip to Scotland, Scottish Islands, and a few days in Bolton of all places. And then subsequently we've taken a sort of 2-month trip, been down to the Alps, down to Spain, and then back up along the Pyrenees and up through France. So we've had a good time to use the motorhome. And light's gone off, hang on. Oh, that wasn't meant to happen. Controlled by motion sensor, I didn't move around enough. Anyway, we chose the Carthago mainly because it had a big garage for all these bikes and surfboards and things like that to go in. It also had really good radiator heating inside, lots of insulation, 160 litre water tank, and it had been upgraded with 300 amp hours of lithium batteries, extra solar power, and then 1800 watt inverter. On top of that, there's also 2 alu gas cylinders, so we had enough gas to last really over a month in there, and that'd keep the fridge going and do heating and hot water and stuff like that and cook on. So it's really good in that respect. It's been a real challenge driving it. It's a big motorhome, really, quite wide, but it's been really good fun. It's left-hand drive, so you had to have your wits about you a little bit, but the challenge of it meant that you were always concentrating on what you're doing, and it's really good fun. I'm not a big fan of automatic gearboxes, but with the 180 horsepower engine, it had plenty of overtaking power, and the gearbox was really clever. It mostly changed gear when you wanted it to, and it also had a sort of like Tiptronic thing where you could do it manually, and also there's a switch where when you're going downhill it'd give you lots more engine braking as well. So I enjoyed the automatic gearbox. It made it sound like a proper bus when you were driving along. Fuel consumption has varied from about sort of 24 to maybe 28 or so, and it averaged out through the whole sort of 6,000 or 7,000 miles. We had it at 26.5 to the gallon, so it's quite economical, really. It handled better than the Peugeot Nuevo. It was much more stable at high speeds, even going over the mountains and everything. Never felt that it was uncontrollable or anything like that. Really good. The bus mirrors that the Cathargo's got are really nice because they don't stick out a long way and they don't add extra width, and that, with the 2 rear cameras we had, made it really useful. You could see everything that was going on behind you. I think the Cathargo's really built for big A roads, long distance touring and stuff like that, and it was really good at that. We could drive all day, sit up there, high up looking out everywhere, felt really good, seats were comfortable and everything like that. So we really liked that aspect of the motorhome. Bearing in mind that the motorhome had been lived in by a full-timer for about 3 or 4 years before we owned it, since it new. Also, the build quality of it was really high. You know, the oven and things like that were a bit worn, but things like the seats, the flooring, things weren't falling apart in that van, even though it had a lot of solid use. But there was a few things we had to deal with. The kitchen tap had a crack in it, that was leaking, so that had to be replaced, £130. The 240 volt refrigerator heater element, that blew. That was a pain replacing that, but we managed it. That was about another £90. And then annoyingly, the only low spec thing really was the cupboards have got little brown clips, and 3 or 4 of those snapped off. They seem to be too brittle. When we bought new ones, they were a different design, so I think they might have beefed them up or changed the design to stop them snapping. But that is something to really look out for if you ever buy one of these vehicles, because if those latches snap off, obviously you've got doors flying open and things like that. It's a real pain, but it's only a little thing, and it's not a real sort of deal breaker, because once you can buy a pack of them, you have some spares, you're fine. Surprisingly to us, there's a few gimmicks in there. I thought, like the cocktail cabinet, for instance, you know, don't need that in there. And then the retractable hideaway coffee maker actually was really good. It was nice to have that with the inverter. You could use it when you weren't even on a main supply plug-in, and made good coffee, and it's really good. You can have a decent cup of coffee available so easily, even when you're on a trip on the road. That was a good thing. But we never really sort of fell in love with the interior of this motorhome. When we first bought it, the big brown leather seats and the dark brown wood inside never really got us very excited, although the lighting in there is very good. As time went by, we didn't get to like that interior anymore. The kitchen had very little work surface to prepare food on a regular basis. All the big leather seats took up so much space that it's difficult to get past one another, and nobody seems to like these Cathargo big tables, and lots of people replace them and put in smaller ones, and so we didn't get on with that very well either. Anyway, now, but the other thing that we really liked about the Carthago was the bedroom at the back with the queen size bed was mega comfortable. We got really good sleeps in there. Also, the separate shower cubicle was really nice to have as well, and also fitted an outdoor shower, which was nice when you've been swimming and stuff like that. So there's lots of good things about this motorhome that we really enjoyed. Once we got back from our trip to Spain, and we had another trip planned in February to go to the mountains, go snowboarding and stuff, and then go on to Greece, we decided this Carthago wasn't really for us. And there's one big deal breaker that really made us decide that we had to have a change. And that was the ground clearance. The garage is great, but it overhangs the rear wheels at the back, and the whole thing is slung really low to the ground. So we couldn't even get into our sloping driveway without catching the back on it sometimes. Another time out somewhere, we snapped off the tap for the grey water drain down point outside. One time on a narrow lane, we actually grounded out the chassis, and that took a big chunk of tarmac off the road when we reversed. And then there was another time we were admittedly off-road a little bit on a dirt track, but there was a waddy ahead of us with a dip in the road, and we just couldn't go down it for fear of getting the back ripped off when we went up the other side, really. So that, and the thought of having to drive it in alpine conditions in the snow, really decided that unfortunately the Carthago was not for us. I don't want to put people off buying them, because it was really a privilege to have owned it. We had a lot of fun in that motorhome, but it's the experience of it has made us realise that it's not for us. So, don't know what other Carthago owners think, but anyway, tomorrow we're off, go and pick up a Heimer 580. So let's see how we get on with that. and I'll try and post some more video in the future. Thanks very much for watching. My name's Andy. If you'd like to subscribe to this channel, that would be great. Try and put as much exciting stuff on there as we can in the future. Thanks for watching. Bye bye for now.